Damn it, I'm hot and bothered already.
Yep, same.
What were you saying? You saw Rogue One. It's Wookiee, by the way.
Yeah.
And Shannon and then Wookiee's girlfriend. Yes, he actually has one.
It happens.
Yeah, everyone's got a relationship except Tristan. And me, obviously.
Yeah, but you don't care so much.
I don't care. Mothman cares. He's got, things he needs to sow. I'm not sure what. Wild oats, I suppose. Wild wolf seeds. You saw Rogue One last night. Oh, by the way, it's New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
2016. Going into 2017. For those who can't do math. Wookiee's also eating 3 double cheeseburgers with bacon.
Wookiee's always eating.
Yes, but Wookiee's girlfriend says they just went for lunch and everyone ate well, and now Wookiee's here having free hamburgers because, well, free food.
Well, that was lunch. This is early dinner.
Yeah, I had my early dinner 3 hours ago. Right, Rogue One. Yes, it was good.
Yeah, I think so.
Why? The new Star Wars, I haven't seen Rogue One. I saw the new Star Wars and it was It was okay, but it was a bit... We've discussed this.
Yeah.
It didn't have the charm of the original film.
Yeah.
And even the 3 prequel things were better. Except for the fucking Gungans.
Whereas The Force Awakens was almost like they took the original Star Wars. It's almost like they just remade it for a modern audience, because it follows almost the same plotline. Whereas Rogue One is... One, it's an original...
By the way, welcome to the next 8 hours of your life. This is pretty much what's going to happen.
No, that's fine.
We're working on New Year's.
We're always working.
Maybe someone
Drinking.
is.
Okay. Well, it's not Raven, that's for sure. He's somewhere at the coast drowning. He went swimming and no shark killed him. I've been begging the universe for years to at least have one leg bitten off by a fish.
Rogue One, obviously, it's an independent story. That's the story of the team that stole the plans for the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
And
what kind of people are they? Motley crew of rebel-type Han Solo wannabes?
Kind of.
Rebels without a cause routine?
It's like a mix.
And Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah. Though his role was a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be.
He's a lot bigger than he used to be, but...
He's like an old general that... Essentially, he was a member of the rebellion, but he broke off.
Go screw yourself. I'm going to suffer all night because of this, but fuck it. It's New Year's.
He was like a member of the rebellion, but he broke off because he was fighting too extreme. He was like an extremist rebel. So he wasn't part of the Rebel Alliance.
Fundamentalist force wielder.
Well, without the Force.
Racist, okay.
But also he was like... So he had his own little splinter cell, and they were on the temple in Jeddah where all the kyber crystals were.
Mm-hmm.
And they were basically the Empire was stealing, well, not stealing, they had colonized the town and were excavating all the crystals to power the Death Star. Then you've got 2 of the monks from that temple with a traitor to the rebellion, a traitor to the Empire, a rebel, and then some girl who's kind of like a Han Solo-y type person that kind of gets drawn into the plot because her past links into it.
Okay, so the usual
Ragtag bunch.
cliche band of Hollywood types.
And a reprogrammed Imperial android that's full of shit.
Okay.
Basically Alan Tudyk as a robot.
I wonder if do they put their lightsabers through the wash? Oh no. Too soon?
With Whedon fans, it's always too soon.
This is true.
But he actually is cool because he's just, all he ever does, it's like something in the reprogramming made him lose his filter, so he says everything he thinks. So
C3PO with no tact.
Basically.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're together, and basically the guy who was building the Death Star, he had tried to sort of flee the Empire because he didn't want to build the Death Star. But they eventually found him and brought him back, and then he realized that they were actually so close they could finish it without him. But they hadn't realized, so he played along so that he can purposefully hide a flaw in the design.
Oh.
Which he then obviously sends a message out to the rebels that, hey, I have hidden this flaw in this thing. You guys just need to get the blueprints and you'll be able to find it. and then they obviously go on the mission to steal the blueprints, where they attack the one Imperial hub. But like I say, the cool thing, like I mentioned to you just before we started, the one cool thing is they used CGI to bring a lot of characters that were in the originals back.
Is it at least decent CGI? Because as I said, remember, in Revenge of the Sith,
Yeah.
they had Grand Moff Tarkin at the end with Vader and the Emperor, and he looked like a guy in a rubber mask that had been tasered. He didn't have the look. So do they actually look proper for it?
Yeah.
So they've actually put some effort in.
Tarkin and Mon Mothma. It kind of looked like you were looking at real people with a little bit of Photoshop on their face.
Now I have images of you with Photoshop stickers on your face. Those are Photoshop on your face.
Yeah, I mean, technically Tarkin had more screen time in this film than I think he did in A New Hope.
Was he wearing his boots or slippers? That's the most important, because he had slippers on.
Oh yeah, I
That's why
forgot
the
about
Empire
that.
lost, because he was in his dressing gown ready for bed.
But yeah, so that was really... And also another thing I noticed, I might be wrong because I haven't actually fact-checked this, but to my own perception, the spaceships weren't CGI, they were models.
You see, that right there is a discussion for a later podcast, but I like that.
Like I say, whereas I say The Force Awakens felt very modern, very like a modern movie featuring Star Wars stuff. This one had patches of
It was
feeling.
very modern and full of children.
Yes,
There were no grown-ups in that entire movie.
except for the old people who came back.
Like Han Solo looked like a grown-up. Everyone else looked like a very petulant teenager,
Yeah,
including Darth Tantrum.
but yeah, then there was, like I say, the Empire in this one. It looked like the Empire. It felt like the Empire.
Smelled like the Empire. Couldn't shoot straight like the Empire.
James Earl Jones came back to voice Darth Vader again.
Oh yeah, he's in it, isn't he? Just briefly though.
Yeah,
But
literally.
no lightsaber duels, I believe.
He right at the end, you see him whip out his lightsaber and kill a bunch of rebel guys, but there's no Jedi.
Oh.
Literally,
Well, most of them are lying around with a hole in the head.
yeah. Rogue One happens. Literally, you know the opening scene of A New Hope where the rebels are fleeing as the Imperials storm their ship.
Yeah, they're flying away with Princess Leia on it.
Yeah. Rogue One ends with that Imperial army boarding that ship.
Huh.
Like I say, they literally flow. It would flow straight. That's literally the last scene of Rogue One. Is Darth Vader and the stormtroopers boarding the rebel ship, and one of the rebel guys running up to Leia and saying, "Here's the schematics."
Here, take this. What's the worst way he can do? He's not going to probe his own children. Jump shit. Spoiler,
And they
spoiler.
got what's his face, Organa, back to reprise himself. So you actually see Councillor Organa, who's like naturally aged.
Oh, yeah, well, Jesus, yeah, that was many years ago. He played as himself there, and he's been on LA Law suffering for like 40 years.
So yeah, so he was there at the council with Mon Mothma and Admiral Redis, and
Okay, how many stars out of 5?
4.5.
Okay, and for the Force Awakens, I gave that a 3 myself.
I'd probably
I was being
do
generous.
3.5 to 4 depending on the day. But yeah, there's
So the independent stuff's actually doing well.
yeah, like,
Next one is Han Solo movie, isn't it?
no, next one is Episode 8, then Han Solo movie.
Episode 8, which only comes out next year.
Yeah, they do one each year.
So what? We're going to have to wait the next 5 years before we figure out who Snoke isn't.
Everyone is Snoke.
We are all Snoke. Snoke is
Yeah,
the
they're like alternating it. So it was Episode 7, Rogue One. Episode 8, the Boba Fett movie. Episode 9, the Han Solo
It
movie.
would be Boba Fett. The guy was in it for about what? 10 minutes in the one and had 3 speaking lines, and he was in it a little bit at the beginning of a third, and then he got eaten by the Sarlacc.
Yeah.
And then he escaped or didn't escape, or perhaps
There's a
escaped,
fan
according
film-
to whichever variation or version Disney's decided to go with.
Mm-hmm.
Boba Fett, the clone movie. Technically. He was alright. I didn't like his armour though. I thought Jango had better armour.
Mm.
That blue looked a lot nicer.
Well, Django was actually...
Also the fact he's a Maori. And then you see Boba Fett in the original movies without the helmet, and it's a skinny white guy with a stupid moustache.
But that was
Peter
everyone
Rabbit.
in the 70s.
This is true, but it was set in the 80s. It was always done in the early 80s. It's going to be 5 years before you find out who Snoke is. I would laugh if they go back for an original theory that they ran from the first one, and it turns out Mrs. Snoke, Annie. I'm fucking done at that point. If it turns out it's that bloody Gungan. I think at that point Raven will probably just tear a chair out of the cinema and start bludgeoning children with it. Although his wife would thoroughly enjoy that because she likes the Gungans.
I would actually I want them to do that just so I can see that happen.
Could be funny.
How to kill off the entire franchise fan base.
Or how to kill at least half the audience.
But yeah, like I say, it had a real like rustic. It felt like it was part of the original group, just with better special effects.
Well, there we go. That's the first podcast for New Year's. It's got better special effects. Like, share, and subscribe wherever you are. Awesome.